So, back at the transporter, 1.9 turbo diesel. I have a few new parts now that I've bought. I got another camshaft. It's not brand new, but it came from another engine that snapped the timing belt. So the lobes are all in good nick. I got a camshaft seal. I need a new one of those. So he fits that way onto the camshaft when I do forget to fit it. New set of cam followers. They're not expensive. I think it's about €50 for 8. So I have some good ones out. That 2.4 engine over there, but I won't be using them because €50. Why would you? So I'll just go through the procedure now for installing these new ones. I'll just grab something now and open. So I've my packet opened. These already come pre-oily. New obviously, so fitting them is quite simple. Just one at a time. Got them all in. A lot of these surfaces all cleaned for the cam shafts to go in. Journal surfaces. So, normally put oil if it is dry, but these are already wet. Fairly wet with oil. And we've cleaned all the other areas, so it's a matter of putting them in now, one by one. Go into it. They're a pretty good fit. Just make sure they all spin when you're finished. If they don't, it's generally you haven't cleaned it enough. You can see the oil coming around them, so they're. I don't think that I'm putting these in dry. They're not. They're certainly not dry. There we go. See the oil just coming out. This will be getting new oil in the filter now as well. Some of these buckets fill up with oil. I want them to have nice fresh oil going into them. So that's 8 of them installed. Pretty simple. I'm just going to prep the camshaft now. Checking all these surfaces are pretty good. Marking that one. That one's okay. That one's okay. That one's okay. So I'll just go clean the camshaft now and put it in. So just also show what I use when I'm putting camshafts and bearings in. Some of this Lucas assembly lube. It's good stuff. It's kind of thick, so eliminates dry starts. So what I do is go ahead and put a nice little blob of that there. Another blob of it there. There. Another bit there. Yeah, I like to put a little bit there as well. Just on top of each of them, where the valve is going, or the cam lobe is going to be hitting first. Now, Next to install now is the camshaft. Trying to do this now with one hand, so it's never as easy with one hand. Just lift them up and drop them down. Now you want these two lobes facing up on cylinder number 1, because that is the firing order. That's the correct orientation of the camshaft for when you're timing it. So I'm going to give him a little knock now, and we'll put a bit of sealant around the seal, around the outside edges. I'll just grab that now. So I've each of these all cleaned up now. They're ready to go back on. They're numbered, most of them are numbered. There's number 2. This one's obviously number 1. So number 2 goes back on there. So I've also put some assembly lube on these and some assembly lube on the lobes, so there can be no dry start. They're all clean inside as well. Make sure and clean your caps really well. Here's number 4, it's back in its spot. And number 5, now number 5 is not written on these, not that I can see anywhere, but you just put them back where you got them. So that one goes back there. Then you have your nuts. Just loosely cap these on now. It's important that this all goes down nice and square and even. And before I do tighten up anything, I want to make sure the position of the piston, number 1, so that he's on top dead center. I'll go by the mark on the flywheel. It's kind of awkward doing this with one hand really, but I have no choice in the matter. Yeah, I'm going to run out of threads with these ones because these lobes here, well, that one there is pointing down and that was pointing down, so I'll nip them up nice and slowly. Kind of finger tight for now. I have to nurse them all down one at a time. What I normally do is start on the middle one, and then the 2 outside ones, and then the inside ones. Yeah, I got a little bit of thread on that, so I'll do that now. So I'll just have the assistant there, turn the engine, and you have it on top dead center. You can't see very clearly, but it's focusing on it now. So you see that little tiny line? Don't mind the white paint, that's just so I can see it on the flywheel when I turn it around, so I know I'm getting close. So that's marked bang on now on top dead center on cylinder number 1. These 2 lobes are now pointing for the sky, so that means it's on compression stroke, firing stroke on cylinder number 1, which is exactly where we need it. So now all I have to do is tighten down the cams and put back on the belt, etc. There's some to put back on, but I'll probably be doing that right now. So I'm going to just go ahead and tighten these down one at a time, and I'll do that off camera for a minute. Before I forget, I normally put these in as well to seal. So I have this screw down, not home but down a little bit. I put in the new seal, and I use the old seal to push them in, and that gets them nice and square. You have to be very careful then when you're tightening these down that you don't catch the seal sideways. This. So a little nip on that side, little nip there. I'll be torquing these now. So I'll torque these down and I'll get back to you. So now they're all torqued. The next step is going to be putting back on the cam belt. This is going to work now with one hand. You basically pick it up. It's not going to be easy with one hand. Right, okay, well anyway, that's how you put your hand belt back on. This belt's not long changed, so I'm going to use his old belt. It's fine. I'll come back to you in 2 seconds. I just want to get this back over the pump and get it online. So I can't do that with one hand. So back at you again. Yeah, so you put your camshaft sprocket back on loosely. Just check you have your pin here. In this case is a drill bit. Your belt is tensioned pretty good all the way around back to your tensioner. So you got to get that little tab in there into the slot, which I didn't do a minute ago, but it's in it now, and he has room to move, but that's how you tension your belt. But for now I just have him sitting there like that. This one is finger tight, so that's got no keyway in here on the camshaft. So you're sitting on a big taper like this one, and you have a slot in the back of your camshaft, which only works one way because it's off center. So if you have it the wrong way around, let's say it's in the head that way, that's the right way. If it's in the head this way, you've the wrong lobes. Your lobes on this end are pointing down. Well, they will be pointing down. So this guy feeds into that slot, and if you're on the money, there you go, that fits in. Now there is a little bit of balance between the two. I'm not on this one, but on some of them you have to use feeder blades underneath this end where my thumb is and this end up here, so you get it level between the whole lot. And at that stage then your crankshaft is on time. Where is he? Yeah, he's still on time. Your cam is on time and your fuel pump is on time. So now you can go ahead and lock up your cam bolt. Well, maybe what I'll do first is put a bit of tension on the tensioner, and then I'll lock up the cam bolt in case something moves at all, so then I can readjust it here easy enough. So I'll go ahead and do that part now. So now I have everything tightened up. The last thing to do now is to tension the tensioner. Have this tightened. Your drill bit is just loosen the hole. Your belt is tight here. Belt is tight here. The 0 mark is a line down here. You can't really, it's never going to focus for me, but there's a mark down there. It's lined up. The camshaft is lined up. He's perfect in that, so I can take him back out. And the last thing then is, it's a cool little kit actually, little Nielsen one, or Nielsen 7-piece fuel injection pump, static just in time indicator gauge tools. So you have your little clock for your pump. Don't know what that's for, but anyway. You have a few adapters here for different ones. There's a camshaft, or it's actually a locking pin I think for a fuel pump. If I have a fuel pump sprocket here somewhere, I'm sure I do. fits in one of those holes. Maybe not, it's probably going to turn the lawyer out of me. Yeah, it probably does. Yeah, because one of these is smaller. That's it. Yeah, it doesn't fit that one anyway. Nearly fits. Anyway, that's pretty much that. For the 1.9, 2.5, 2.4. So I can go ahead now and put the lid back on this engine. What I like to do as well is just add another little bit. There's always time for lubrication, so she says. So just put another generous little dabble of that on those for initial startup purposes. You don't want these to be dry. Start making a clattering sound again. The untold damages, and I've already checked that camshaft moves. It does turn in the housing or in the lows when it's tightened up. So yeah, I won't finish it off tonight now. I have another few bits to do. So I'll be putting the lid back on that. I'll be setting the timing or setting the tension on the belt. Maybe tomorrow evening now I'll put the sump back on it, fill it up with oil, give it a rattle and see what happens. But for now anyway, I'll leave it at that. A little bit longer video than I normally make, but yeah, just be interesting now to see how quiet it is now with the new cam followers and the camshaft. So I'll leave it at that. Like it, subscribe please if you don't have it already done, and I should be able to make more videos very shortly. Over and out.